Father's Day just come and gone, and you know, Father's Day get a little bit of crowd, and we don't get all the bosses and stuff, but nonetheless, the wife and the family, I'm still make it special for us. And congrats on your first one.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And I picked up my daughters, and I pulled my back, and like a few days later, like I had to put on, we was going somewhere, I had to put on my shoes, and I had to sit on the bed, like to put my shoes on, like to put my foot up. I couldn't bend down and tie my shoes.
Wow.
And it was scary.
Yeah.
So I was like, "But something, I gotta do something now."
But how have you been able to maintain a discipline to where you wake up, you know, early mornings and you do your runs and you do your workouts, and then you come and train, and then you work, and then you come back and train and work out in the evenings? Like how have you been able to develop that the discipline to keep that structure in place?
Grits don't have a taste. If you don't put nothing inside grits don't have a taste. Grits have a texture. And if you think about it, you can see. So if I make my oatmeal a consistency of grits, I don't put no cinnamon, no nothing, I just plain oatmeal. Sure. And I do my egg whites on the side of that. In my mind, I eating grits and eggs. If we go in the gym and we spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym, how much more of importance it is that we spend the same time deepening our relationship in the Word, growing inside our spirit, man, the same way, because I got a balance, because I realized that the things we have here on earth, they can fade away, bro. Because we have, I now living with eternity in mind. And I know that my relationship with God is one where if I make a mistake, and the same thing I try to do with my kids, is grace. I could go and I could say, hey, I did X, Y, Z, boom, I repent, I turn away. The same thing with my fitness. I tell my clients, like, wait, if you go there and you have a bad meal and you overindulge, tomorrow, dust it off, pick back up, and we get right back on the horse and we keep going. So we can fall down, but we don't live from that place where we fall down. We learn. So, like someone said, I heard them, fail forward. If we fail forward. Don't fail and go backwards. But still taking into consideration the consequences that happen when we fail.
All right, welcome to the new episode of the Myles podcast. This is Myles Jr. I'm your host, and as always, the vision and goal of this podcast is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist, always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. All right? So today, we got to close out the month of June, and I wanted to close out with a discussion pertaining around fatherhood, right? I have a great guest in the studio with me today. He's a fitness enthusiast. He's a father, and he is a man of faith as well. And I wanted to have a discussion on those three pillars. So with me today is Mr. Ryan Payne, fitness enthusiast. Man, welcome to the pod. Thanks for joining in. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to have this conversation. I really wanted to, the month of happy belated Father's Day.
Thank you. Same thing, brother.
Appreciate it. It's my first one.
My
first one. So this was a special one for me.
Okay.
But I know you have a tribe.
Yeah, a little
tribe. So you're a veteran more so in this. So I got to learn a lot from you.
Boy.
But welcome to the pod. Thank you, man. I wanted to have this conversation with you. I'm a follower of you, of what you do. You're in the fitness arena. It's kind of a passion of yours that you have turned into a business, right? And you're influential in this space, in the way that you motivate, the way that you curate your content. And you have gotten a lot stronger in your faith as well. And I think that, just seeing you from a distance and just seeing your growth and development in these different areas of your life, man, I wanted to have just a candid conversation, more so about like how you're able to balance everything that you do. Being a father, of 4 daughters, right?
Yeah, correct.
4 daughters, having a wife. So you have a family that you have to, you're the foundation of, right? That you have to hold up and support. So, how just centering a discussion around like being able to balance everything, I think is important. But first, man, welcome to the pod. How's things? How are you doing?
Everything's good. Father's Day just come and gone, and Father's Day get a little bit of crowd, and we don't get all the bosses and stuff, but nonetheless, the wife and the family, them still make it special for us. And congrats on your first one.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's learn a little bit about you, Ryan. How did you? What was your upbringing? You're obviously a Bahamian, grew up in the Bahamas, but how was your upbringing here in the Bahamas?
Well, I graduated from SAC in 2000.
You one of those avid SACers who you rapping SAC?
No. If you never know I went to SAC, you'll never know. I ain't one of them. I ain't sharing much, but
I got you.
We over the top when it comes to the big red machine. But graduated from SAC and sort of bounced around from job to job. Not really sure. Like worked in the bank, worked at Armored Car. I was a property manager for a bit. I worked full time in the church. I worked in a tennis store. I don't know if you remember Quick Kicks.
Yeah.
I used to work at Quick Kicks selling tennis. Even dabbled a bit in body promoting and drawing bodies and stuff. So bounced around, and finally landed fitness.
How did you get into fitness?
Well, initially it started with me and my goals of trying to get in shape. Realizing that I came home from work one day. This was when I was back being a property manager, and I picked up my daughters, and I pulled my back. And in that moment, it was like, boy, something clicked. Like, you two, I barely was 30.
Wow.
And I pulled in my back from just picking up my girls. And like a few days later, like I had to we was going somewhere, I had to put on my shoes, and I had to sit on the bed, to put my shoes on, to put my foot up. I couldn't bend down and tie my shoes.
Wow.
And checking the scale at my heaviest, I was like 260 pounds. And it was scary.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I got to do something now. That's when Twitter was the thing. Went on Twitter. A very good friend of mine, Freddie Slugger-Lightborn, he was a trainer back then. Reached out to him, and that's where it started. Police college gym, running up and down inside the old hot gym, and that's where I started my fitness journey right there.
How old were you at the time?
Like 42 now. I was maybe 28, 29.
28, 29. So before then, have you ever been to the gym, went to the gym? Did you have like a workout regimen?
Nah, before that, the closest I came to was playing recreational ball on the park around here. So that's the closest I came, and PE inside school. So fitness was nowhere in my mind.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, my dad used to be a personal trainer.
Okay.
And even when I was younger, he would try to get me to go to the gym, and I wasn't on the run.
Was it because it was what he was into and you didn't want to do what he was involved with?
I just didn't want to wake up early. I didn't want to wake up before school to go to the gym.
Got you. Yeah. So how you started at 27, 28. After you started, like that initial start, how long did it take for you to see results? But see the results that motivated you to be like, okay, there's something I want to make more of a lifestyle than just, something to change my physique.
Say maybe like a decade, and maybe like
10 years.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years.
Before
I was like serious.
Wow.
Because I more or less was going through the motion, and I would see like little changes. You get a little thicker, and initially a goal of mine was, okay, I want my stomach to get smaller. Then when your stomach gets smaller, then okay, I want some abs. But I realized getting abs was the hard part.
Absolutely.
So I was like, nah, I just can stay being thick. So let me go with that. But when COVID came, gyms was forced to close. Started doing a lot more outdoor stuff, started a running club. And that sort of pushed me in the direction of cleaning up my food, looking more into the details of what it takes to actually achieve the body and the goals that I wanted. So I'd say COVID was the initial spark to like really, really align everything together.
And COVID for you did you already have the fitness business in a sense?
Yeah, I had a fitness business in a sense, because I was training out of Better Bodies Gym.
Okay.
But COVID was what pushed me to go on my own, and I actually started to rent a space in my grandparents' warehouse to be able to host my own classes and get my own equipment. So I was actually able to branch out So if it wasn't for COVID, I probably would have still been in the gym.
So at which point, so you got into personal training, right? For your, well, personal fitness, like you wanted to work out for yourself. And then you transition, at some point you transition into like helping others.
Yeah.
How did that transition happen?
This was, say, about 5 years in, and a friend needed some help. I was going to the gym regularly by myself, and he was like, "Oh, you want to come along to go to the gym?" And I was able to help him, and he's like, "Bro, you good at this?" And he told his coworkers about it, and his coworkers came, and they was like, "Oh, what you could charge?" And I remember I said, "Yes, come on, something. They give me $50 or something." And I had like 4 people helping them to work out inside the gym, because the average person coming in the gym, they scared, they a bit overwhelmed, they don't know what to do, how to use the machines, they don't want to look like a fool. So having someone there to like walk with you and show you, okay, even though I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but having some basic knowledge of what it is and how to use the things like that. And after that, it was like, you might as well go do your cert, you might as well go make some money off of what it is you got at. Because me dealing with people, like, it's another, what I'd say, another plus to being a trainer. Because once you could communicate effectively, then ain't nothing you really can do.
So you did you always like that aspect of it, like work, communicating with people, being interactive?
Yeah, I always feel like I always been led like to people and to deal with people and to help people, and even being a trainer, like people that talk your ears off and every like personal therapists, low key, so they'll talk your head off.
Yeah, is the working out for you a form of therapy as well?
Yeah, most definitely. Like when I go in the gym or when I go for a run or whenever I do like a marathon or whatever, it's like the world is like turn off, and it's just me, the weights, and that time I have alone just to deal with that, just to go through that. I could use it to process thoughts. I could use it to get out if there's any frustration, need to get out. I could just leave it all there, because 45 pounds could be 45 pounds. That ain't changing. That don't depend if it's hot outside, cold outside, the weights don't change. So that's been a place that I run to for solitude from time to time. And it's been a place like my release, my escape as well.
How have you developed your discipline over the years, right? Because I think in the longevity of like staying fit and being in shape, it comes with discipline, right? Because you could, a lot of people do good for 2, 3, 4 years fine, and then they hit maybe a challenge in life, or they just get, content and just be like, okay, I'm going to relax for this month, and that month turn into 2 months and 3 months, and it compiles over the years. But how have you been able to maintain a discipline to where you wake up, early mornings and you do your runs or you do your workouts, and then you come and train, and then you work, and then you come back and train and work out in the evenings? Like how have you been able to develop that the discipline to keep that structure in place?
For me, I know that my fitness and the way I carry myself and my body is the breadwinner for my family. So in the moments where I may not want to wake up, where I may not want to go to the gym and work out, I am a direct reflection of what it is that I sell and what it is that I promote. We always size people up when we see them. So the first thing I'm basically a walking advertisement for what it is that I do. And knowing that, like you say, I have a tribe. I have my daughters and my wife, like they depended on me. So me feeling a certain way or me being tired doesn't really, like some people say it don't matter to them, because at the end of the day, like PPL still selling the bill, cable still got to pay, school fees still got to pay, all these things still got to get done. So yeah, the moment where I may not feel like doing it right there and then, it's always at the tail end when you're done, you always be like, you glad you did it. And it comes from over time, like even like setting small goals. So today it could be, okay, I want to work out 5 times a week for a minimum of an hour. So setting those small goals, and then it builds into a habit. So I work more towards using the discipline to create a habit, because once you create that habit, then that's going to stick. So for me, it's more about, that's what it is for me, because everyone will say motivation fades. Right. Discipline is the only thing that will stick.
Absolutely.
But habits, once you create those habits, them habits can stick. For me, stronger than the discipline.
Sure.
Because at the end, every day I wake up and feel, I want to do this. Some days I just want to lay down. Some days I want to go to bamboo. Some days I want to eat the food and eat the things I
do you though? Do you like on days where you don't feel like working out? Would you be like, I ain't gonna work out today? I can take the day off.
Yeah, sometimes I do have moments because I still human at the end of the day, and not every day I eat the same boring food. Like people may not see me. I remember one time I went into McDonald's and I had my shirt on, my Ryan Payne Fitness shirt, and this person's like, "Oh, you was a trainer? What you doing inside your eating?"
That's one thing I want to ask. Like, I feel like all trainers go through this, right? So you guys are trainers, you train people for a living, and then you all like go to like a fast food joint, and let's say one of your clients or someone sees you and say, "Hey, you training? Why you in here eating this bad food?" Like how you always take that? Or even like when you post, like if you posting like your meals and be like, "Oh, why you eating this cake or these fries or this fried chicken or whatnot?" Like how do you respond to stuff like that?
So for me, I try to be very transparent with my clients and transparent with the people around me. And everyone know I have a sweet tooth. But I all about balance. So for me, it's even like with clients, new clients coming in, and they may be like, "Oh, this diet so hard, so rigid, this, that." So I tell them, okay, this is what to do. If it's 7 days out of the week, let's push initially for 5 days. Let's eat clean for 5 days. And if you accomplish the goals that you need to accomplish, you work out when you're supposed to work out, you eat the food you're supposed to eat. Give yourself a treat on Saturday. Let Saturday have that one meal to keep you in motion. And I find that even when you eat that one food that you want so bad, most times it don't be good. Most times it's make you feel bad. So it don't even be worth it. So enough time of doing that and saying that it ain't worth it, you eventually go fizzle along. But I like food. I don't know what to say. I like food, but it's one less thing that I have to think about, even like with my regimen and my food. I know, okay, when I eat, I get oatmeal and eggs. I get ground turkey and brown rice.
Since you bring it up, I was going to bring it up later, but since you said it, let's talk about this oatmeal and eggs, bro. So most trainers I've seen, especially trainers who like I would be scrolling through on my timeline, and most of them post these oatmeal and egg whites, and you all eat it together. I like oatmeal, I like egg whites, right?
But not together.
But putting them together just seems so foreign to me. And everyone that I've spoken to is like, well, one of the trainers I guess the first trainer that I saw do it, I was asking him like, "Bro, like, what you doing? How does this make sense?" He's like, his intake was the same for pleasure, the same for taste. I doing this for sustenance, right? Just giving me the protein and stuff that I need. That's why I doing it. Another trainer I talked to about it, he was like, it actually tastes good to him, right? He doesn't mind the flavors. What is it for you? Why is it? And you consistently do it. Like, you know what I mean? I could see if it was like once a week, twice a week, but this is a consistent thing for you. What is it about oatmeal and egg whites?
I think my palate sort of bland right now because of that. But for me, in my mind, I make my oatmeal the consistency of grits. Grits don't have a taste. If you don't put nothing inside grits don't have a taste. Grits have a texture. And if you think about it, you can see. So, if I make my oatmeal the consistency of grits, so I don't put no cinnamon, no nothing. I just plain oatmeal. And I do my egg whites on the side of that. In my mind, I eating grits and egg. That's what I eating, grits and egg. My mouth don't know the difference. So after doing it for so long, like I legit look forward to eating. I have a small spoon. And I take my time, because that's normally the first thing I eat. And I take my time, and I eat that, and I enjoy every bite. I enjoy that like someone going to Checkers and getting the big breakfast, sausage, tuna, butter on the grits, all that.
Have you gotten any of your clients onto oatmeal and eggs?
Mind you, the people who buy into the vision, yes. The people who buy into the vision, yes. And once you buy into the vision and they say, "Yeah, are you making sense?" then they never turn back.
I think for me, it's because, like, so I've eaten oatmeal. Like, I grew up eating oatmeal. So oatmeal, you know, you put a little bit of honey, sugar, brown sugar, whatever it is that you put in your oatmeal. And then, so that's more of like, I mean, it could be savory, I guess, but it's more of like a sweet breakfast, if you will. And then you have your eggs, obviously, and it's a distinct difference in taste compared to oatmeal. I know, I hear you when you say you treat oatmeal like grits, but I don't see that connection.
And that's normal. Most people, I never ate oatmeal growing up, so I never knew what oatmeal tasted like, or never did the berries and stuff like that. Me going into oatmeal now is like my first time.
Got you.
So if I eat oatmeal with berries and honey and all that, it's too sweet for me.
Sure.
So I guess.
So do you ever eat oatmeal with anything else?
Nah.
Just egg whites.
Just egg whites. Just oatmeal and egg whites.
I want to introduce you to the Monroe Global app, the ultimate platform to empower your leadership journey and inspire your purpose-filled life. Access timeless teachings designed to help you grow in every area of your life. From leadership development to personal growth, Monroe Global has it all at your fingertips. With the Monroe Global app, you'll have exclusive access to powerful videos and messages from the legendary Dr. Myles Monroe, a digital library packed with life-changing content right at your fingertips, and a vibrant global community of visionaries, leaders, and change makers just like you. Whether you're at home, on the go, or in the office, the Monroe Global app ensures you never miss an opportunity to learn, grow, and lead. Available now on Google Play and the Apple App Store, the Monroe Global app is your gateway to unlocking your potential and impacting your world. Download the Monroe Global app today and take the first steps toward living the life you were born to lead. I always say I could try it one day, and then I go to try it and be like, I can't do it.
You don't follow with
just,
that.
It just say, it don't seem like it'll be something that I like. But I have to try it one of these days because it seems like it works. I would assume it provides a high amount of protein for that meal. It's the new, and I don't want to get too deep, right? But the nutritional aspect of oatmeal, is it good?
Oatmeal is just pure fiber. So they're going in and coming right back out.
Sure.
So some starches, like they have good starches, bad starches. I'd say the bad starches, they break down into fat. So oatmeal, your whole grains, oatmeal, brown rice, your whole grain pasta, things like that, when the body breaks them down, they don't break down into fat. So oatmeal don't make you fat. So that's why I eat oatmeal, it ain't gonna make you fat.
Got you.
So it's a more clean way. It's a clean, healthy breakfast for me. And like you say, high in protein.
Okay, all right. So would you consider yourself everything that you have been doing, especially online, your online content. So I follow you. I see like the stuff that you've been posting and everything. I think like recently, I wouldn't say recently, but over I'd say the past 2-3 years, like you've been a lot more adamant about your faith walk, right? And it's coming out in the way that you post and what you post. Would you call yourself, first of all, like you consider yourself a fitness influencer?
People have said, but in my mind, no.
No, and so that was never I wouldn't say a goal, but it was never something that you say, hey, I could do this. I want to do it.
Nah, for me, it's just about sharing my journey and helping people along the way, like motivating. Some people be like, oh, I look forward to your post. What you doing today? Send me the workout. Let me do it. Let me try it. Blah, blah, blah. Things like that. So that's all it was for me. It wasn't about trying to get the most amount of followers. Because if you look at my Instagram, for example, I barely just post. I remember the post. I'll post on my stories. Maybe my TikTok I may post. Facebook is what you put more. So as it come, if I feel like it, then yeah. Because even like most people say, oh, well, you post and then you can get more clients, blah. But for me, it's been more organic, more word of mouth.
Sure.
People see what I do with this person, and then they tell someone, and that person come because of that. So it's just trickle on.
So, I mean, well, you are an influencer, if you, whether you consider yourself or not, because I think you have a lot of influence from your personal journey, like with everything that you do personally, but as well for your clients. And then it trickles into you presenting your faith as well, right? And it just shows, I feel it shows a strong connection between the three, right? Where you're able to show a good balance of like the lifestyle that you live and what you do on a day-to-day basis. So from a faith standpoint, how has faith affected you? Because I think it's safe to say you've gotten really serious about, or more serious about, let me not say more serious, I've seen you post a lot more faith-based content in the things that you say and how you want to motivate individuals, as of recent, over the past 2-3 years. What caused that shift?
For me and my faith, I feel, or I understand now that there's too much at stake for me not to be in the line. If I look at even down to my home, the man's job is to provide, to protect. And my role as the priest in the home, like for them, for my family, like, I have to now teach and show them the way. I have to lead by example. And if I drift, let's say I decide not to be focused, I decide, okay, well, I'm on this run, I just could live my life and take up the popular Bahamian pastime, married men pastime, where we are just sweetheart. And
Yeah.
I leave my home open and vulnerable. So I know that knowing my role and knowing that what's at stake, I have no choice. And even over the years and the things that God has done and the things that God has saved me from, the many, many chances, because we just buck our toe and then he got to come swooping and save us. Even seeing what he has done, like I'm more than grateful. And I always think, like, even now, I think that the things I've been able to accomplish walking out of my purpose, or the things I've been able to accomplish not trying to fulfill the will of God in my life, imagine now I fully surrender and I fully partner with him. Imagine now what more can I do for the kingdom? What more can I do to spread this word? And like you say, like, I may not look at it as influence, but I've seen as simple as if I go in the gym, when I go on in the gym and I decide to start wearing retros, people start wearing retros. I go out in the gym and I say, okay, I can do the oversized tee thing and wear a singlet underneath and then take off the pump cover, and then people start doing it. So little by little, you see, like you say, the trickle-down effect and like the level of influence that you have. So
we used to call it something different in the bar.
yeah, I know what we used to call it. So I know what we used to call it, but we used to call it something different is correct. But I look at it as a compliment. That's how I look at it. I look at it as a compliment. And I know I have to be a good steward of the influence that I have. Because I could either lead people one direction, the right way, or I could lead them the wrong way.
Sure. So with your, I guess, that faith that you have, your spirituality, how have you been able to align that with the work that you do in fitness, or like your physical goals? How do you align the two? How have you been able to align the two?
Well, once I came to understanding that my body is a gift from God, and even with me believing in God and being a Christian, my body is my body carries a temple. My body is a temple, and the Holy Spirit resides inside of me. So, what more importance, or how is it not more important for me to take care and manage this temple, this gift that God has given me? So I promote it from, even like with my clients, from a holistic point. And I don't promote just, okay, you come in here and we can lose this weight and then that's it. No, I promote more like a lifestyle change. I promote, even when they come in, I'd say, okay, I'm going to put you on a diet right away. So our goal is to make small changes. If we eating out 5 times a week, let's eat out 2 times a week. Let's do more home cooked food. If we're drinking sodas, let's cut out the sodas. Let's try to drink more water. So making the small changes that's going to stick. And faith and fitness, they go hand in hand, unknowingly to me, because everything that we do in our body, we can sort of like compare to the things in the spiritual as well. So it's a spirit man and it's a physical man as well. And even like this year, like my goal has been, if, like I told my friends, like if we go in the gym and we spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym, how much more of importance it is that we spend the same time deepening our relationship in the word, growing inside our spirit man the same way, because I got a balance. Because I realized that the things we have here on earth, they can fade away, bro. Because we have, I now living with eternity in mind. How it could be like if my time was to come, or Jesus was to come, like where will I spend eternity? And the things that I have done, will they have counted, or will they have pushed people to the kingdom or pulled people away from the kingdom?
Sure. So you have, that's I think that speaks bonds into your faith, right? I think like you say, faith and fitness comes hand in hand. I truly believe in order for us to be fully functional in our faith, we have to be physically functional as well. Even in our purpose, right? When we serving our purpose on this earth, like in order for us to be purpose filled, we first have to be physically healthy. And that's in our diet and in our like capacity to move around and lift and just move in life. So I do think that the connection with faith and fitness is important for us to I did this part on stewardship, right? And being able to steward the resources that we have, right? And one of those resources is our physical bodies. And being good stewards of that, like I think showing ourselves good managers of our physical health, we're blessed with more, right? Whether that's more opportunities to assist others, or just more resources for us to manage entirely. I think that's truly important. But shifting to like family, so you're a father of four.
Correct.
4 girls.
4 girls.
What's the age of your daughters?
Oldest is 21.
Okay.
Second one is 17, 13, and the last one is 8.
Wow. 4. Did you wanted a big family?
I wanted a boy.
Oh, you strive for a boy?
I wanted a boy. But again, God has a funny sense of humor. So I mean, children are a blessing from the Lord. So, and they say girls just love your daddy different. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I guess you guys are done trying?
Bro, I done. I mean, I don't know if he see it different, then yeah. But it could be a miracle, son. So yeah.
So your the way that at least the mentality that you have with your daughters and your wife as well, right? Your family, how have they helped you to structure yourself physically, spiritually, and then as being the father in the home? How have you been able to structure as the foundation of the home, right? As the head of the home, how have you been able to structure a sense of, this is what we are going to do. This is the vision for our family. This is the legacy that I would like to leave. And this is what I want to, impart into you as my daughters and as my wife, where I want to take us. How have you been able to structure that into your life?
What I've learned that even with kids, children do what you do, not what you say to do. So for me, even with my kids, and even I having 4 daughters, all 4 of them have gotten a different version of me. Because my oldest daughter, I had her when I was younger, so I was a little bit more in the world, party and things like that. But all of them have seen me transition. Like they've been in my life to see me transition from where I was in the past to where I am now, to know that, okay, church is a non-negotiable. They know Sunday daddy waking up and we going to church. Like a little bit more liberal now because Gen Z and everyone, they feel like you can't force these children to do nothing and they get rights and they just start that. A little rougher now because we ain't had no option. Like when I was coming up, like it wasn't no option. You're getting up to go to church.
Absolutely.
But I just try, like you said, I try to lead by example. Whether it be how I handle my wife. If we get into an argument and I know that the kid's watching or they listening, how I respond to her. Because at the end of the day, what I realized, the version or the man that somebody will aspire to marry, aspire to be with, I sort of shape that and what they see and how I handle their mom and how I handle my wife. And even just stressing the importance of them and showing them that, boy, God been good, and they've been there to see the things that God has done for us, to see how he has shown up time after time. And then even relating back to my fitness, and they see the importance of it, and they have to get used to their dad being a personal trainer and out there. Like their friends, they'd be like, oh, your daddy is the man who's beyond thinking with the fitness and the weights and blah, blah, blah. So getting used to that and seeing that they know, well, hey, daddy is do this workout thing. This is what he is do. Like if they know, okay, we eating something, and if I go on a specific diet or anything, then they ain't gonna ain't gonna be no pressure. Or my wife ain't gonna pressure me and say, oh, you gotta eat my food this Sunday because I spend this time in this kitchen to cook. She know if I lock in this, I lock in. So everyone's still working together for one common goal. But I wouldn't say it easy. Like I say, okay, let's do A, B, C, D. Like my wife started working out this week again. Like, so that's for me, that was like waking up and seeing her, like she'll come to my gym and we'll work out together for that. That was like something I've been praying for, and I've been happy to see her put her fitness and her health first, but knowing that it's something I couldn't force on her. She had to be willing to do it, and she had to see the importance of it. And the only way she could see the importance of it is me and how I live it out. And hopefully the same thing with my girls as well.
Was that something that you always had? Like, did you see that yourself growing up, or is it something you had to learn like over the years? How to like manage your home?
Yeah, something I had to learn, because my family dynamic a little bit different than how it was when I was coming up. So even now with kids, they're being exposed to a lot more social media, internet. They're a little bit more opinionated now, and I think it's a little bit more peer pressure now too, not just from school but from everyone out there inside the media as well. So having to navigate it a little bit different, and then giving them a little bit more grace, because knowing that I was once a 16-year-old.
Yep.
I was once a 21-year-old. My 21-year-old she is do it, son. She is do it. But knowing I was 21 and what I was doing at 21.
Yeah, I just had a daughter. My daughter's 8 months now.
Yeah.
And so I think about that all the time. I think about when my daughter turns 15, 16, like I'll have to look at her and be like, yo, I was 15 and 16 once. And to give her that grace because I know how I was at 15 and 16.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't tell me nothing. I felt like I knew everything. A little bit of rebellious in a sense, you know what I mean? So I think that's a good approach, right? Just understanding like, man, I was this age once. And it'll probably be, 100 times different when we reach to the year that she turned 60 and the advancement of like the things that we have in this world, in particular technology, and where we will be in society. And just being able to, again, just provide grace, because my daughter 8 months and already challenging us. So I can't imagine her at 16.
Yeah, but then still even though like I told my daughter the other day, like she just graduated from high school. She turned 17, she graduates, so now in her mind she feels like she's a woman.
Yep.
Yeah, but letting her know that boy, life hard and this world out here is very, very unforgiving. So giving her the tools and giving her the information to be able to navigate this world, and still knowing that, yeah, daddy wants you to do X, Y, and Z. But if you make a mistake, it's still a safe space for you to come back, and then we can work through it and then move forward.
What values do you want to instill, or have you instilled in your daughters?
For us to be honest and open. Don't be afraid to come and say, oh, daddy, this happened, that happened. So me and my wife try to create that relationship with them. Now, 2 of my daughters may drift more towards me. 2 of them may drift more towards her. It depends on what it is that they're dealing with.
Okay.
But then still like be able to create that space for them to come and talk. And then showing them that I know as being a husband, and my role is, the hard role I have is to love my wife like Christ loved the church.
Yes.
And that's something I battle with daily, because the way Christ loved the church, he laid down his life and he died for us. So it isn't anything that he wouldn't have done for us.
Sure.
And it's something she's remind me of all the time. She'd be like, oh, I don't feel like you loving me like Christ loved the church today. So it's to show them that even my foundation and my relationship with God, and show them that anything relating to love, it got to flow first from him. Way.
Absolutely.
So, because they could go through the phase where they feel like they're in love and this or that, but if it ain't no connection to God, then is it really love?
Yeah.
So it's instilling things like that inside of them, and that's basically giving them the upbringing that, but you got to put God first.
Yeah. I met with one of my mentors recently, and he said something that was super profound to me. Right, he was having this discussion with some of his some people that he mentor, and it was 2 married gentlemen who was coming to him for marriage advice. And I don't know if they were having like issues with their wives or whatnot, but the conversation kind of moved to like understanding their wives. And man, he said something that completely, it was something that I knew, but it was a great reminder, right? And it was that, men, we try to understand women, right? And that's where we fall short, because God never told us to understand women. He told us to love them.
Yeah.
Period. Right? So us trying to, man, I need to understand like what this woman talking about, who she is and this and that. Like, don't worry about understanding her.
Yeah.
Just love her and for who she is and what she brings, right? Because her job is to be a helpmate, right? And that's to assist and support you in all that you do, and kind of turn your ideas and vision into like these grandiose things, right? And I think like that's the approach that we should have, like, especially when it comes to like family, marriage and stuff like that. Like, we are to love the women, especially love the women in our lives, because there's a lot we ain't understand. There's a lot that will go misunderstood, and that's fine, right? But our duty is to love them, and in return, their duty is to just respect, right? Just to continue to show respect. So I think that's a profound way of looking at it, man, and seeing what you've been able to do, and just the life that you you lead, especially on online. It's very inspirational.
Okay.
The dedication that you have, the love that you have for your family, the love that you show to your family, to your kids and everyone. I think it's commendable for a young, men, men of stature who have like great character, great influence in our society and amongst, younger people, the millennials and Gen Zs and stuff. I think that's commendable, and still being able to stay in touch with youth, right?
Yeah.
And I think for our generation, like at 40, like we look better than our parents looked at 40, right?
Yeah, you look better than the young cats too.
Yeah, you're right. We look younger than some of these young kids coming up.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to, first of all, the way that we take care of our bodies, the seriousness in which we take our physical health. But I think that it also comes with, for most of us, like our faith, and just being steadfast in that. I'm sure that there have been occasions where you have fallen or faltered in whether in your faith or in your fitness. How have you been able to bounce back or like maintain a positive mindset with that?
I've learned that we don't sit in the place of condemnation. And I know that my relationship with God is one where if I make a mistake, and the same thing I try to do with my kids, is grace. I could go and I could say, hey, I did X, Y, Z, boom, I repent, I turn away. The same thing with my fitness. I tell my clients, like, boy, if you go there and you have a bad meal and you overindulge, tomorrow, dust it off, pick back up, and we get right back on the horse and we keep going. So we can fall down, but we don't live from that place where we fall down. We learn. So, like someone said, I heard them, fail forward. If we fail forward. Don't fail and go backwards. But still taking into consideration the consequences that happen when we fail. I know if I go and I eat 2 pizzas, I eat a large pizza, I have some Dairy Queen, and I drink some soda, like that can make me feel real bad the next day. I could be gassy, I could be pumpy, that's the consequences of my actions. So I know everything has a consequence. So it's just knowing that, hey, is it worth what's going to be on another side of that?
Sure.
And I guess in the 40-something years, knowing now that some things just ain't worth it. And even as a man, like it's something like I really going over now. Like I studying like the great men in the Bible who all fail. And I know like when you have a call in your life, it's also an opposite call, like from the devil to pulling against you. We look at David, we look at Solomon. They were men who had a great anointing, they were called, but all of them failed. We look at Samson, all of them failed. All of them couldn't control their desires, they couldn't control their flesh, and they allowed that to get the best of them. But it still was a space for them to come back and turn and still go back after God. But the consequences were still there for their actions.
Absolutely.
So knowing fully well that there's nothing new under the sun, and knowing that, bro, you've seen it happen in the past, you've seen it happen in people. So don't buck your toe, boy. And don't buck your toe. And even like if we look at even now in society, like all the men, the men of the church, and they always tell people like, for me, it's about setting a standard. Being a godly man, but being a manly man at the same time too. Because I had a conversation with a friend. I said, why you don't go to church? And he said, too much soft, like it's in church. Like he ain't come to church. So that's at the forefront. So now being even like me at my church, I make it my business to stand to the door. I a part of the fellowship team. So when you come in, I greet you. So imagine now you being a street fella coming in and he's seeing someone to the door rather than seeing someone not so to the door.
I know what that means.
You know what that means.
I got you. I got you. Clouded. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
So that's what it is.
So how do you balance the three? How do you balance like faith, family, and fitness? Because 24 hours in a day, I'm sure your wife wants her time, your kids want their time. Obviously, you put time into your physical health. What's the formula for you to be able to balance everything?
For me, I get up early.
What time?
Now I get up at 4.
Okay. So every morning?
Every morning, 3:34.
So what time do you go to bed?
I normally in bed by 8. I normally sleep by 9.
Wow.
I can't stay up late no more. So I get up early, and I use the morning, because most times I tell people that, oh, ain't enough time, family, this, that. Wake up a little bit earlier. You can knock out your goals before anyone even wake up. You can knock out your fitness. You can knock out your personal time, your private time, your prayer time. You can knock all of those early in the morning while everyone sleep, before the distractions wake. So like my family knows, my wife knows, Monday to Friday, that's when I work. I get up early. I may get home 8. I may get home 7. It depends on my clients that day. But I made it my business when I get home to put my phone on. So if it's social media, if it's whatever I got to do, I try to do it before I get home so I can put my phone on charge. Okay. And people know if you message me after 8, you're liable like answer you in the morning, after 4 when I get up. So that's what it is. Saturdays is a short day for me. So I normally done by 10, 11 o'clock on Saturdays. So that'll be like, if we have date night, if we decide to go somewhere, get something to eat, we do it on a Saturday. Sundays is church. Sundays is family time again. So I don't work on Sundays. And even now, like I've recently made a commitment to start going to church a little bit earlier, because I would go to church start 10:30, I'll go to like 10:15. So now I say, hey, if I could wake up early and be on time for workout, I could be on time. So I won't be there when church open up. So I can help set up, I can make that commitment to be there. So fitness get put on the back burner on Sundays. So whenever I done with church, if I need to go do a run or do whatever, I'll do it after I done with church. So I primarily put God first on Sundays for sure. And it's just creating that balance and having a set schedule and sticking to it.
Do you feel like there's more to life than what you're experiencing? That deep down, you're meant for something greater? It's time to stop wondering and start discovering. At the Monroe Institute of Leadership, we believe every person carries a unique purpose, a calling designed specifically for you. Our transformative courses, Discover Purpose and Unlock Your Potential, are crafted to help you uncover that purpose and equip you with the tools to step confidently into your destiny. These powerful courses are for leaders, entrepreneurs, students, and visionaries like you. Through proven principles and actionable insights, you will clarify your vision and set bold goals. You will identify your strengths and passions. You will overcome the barriers holding you back, and you will step boldly into your God-given potential. Our expert facilitators draw from timeless and tested principles, blending practical strategies with kingdom truths to empower you to lead a life of purpose, impact, and transformation. The world needs what you have to offer. Don't let another day pass without unlocking the greatness within you. Visit our website, themill.org, and register today. The Monroe Institute of Leadership. Renew your mind and transform a generation. I'm sure you've had to tweak it and revise it over the years, right? So like how is that transition? So let's say over the last 10 years, like that balance of faith, family, and fitness, how has that looked in these different eras of your life? Like, I'm sure one may have had to take the backseat sometimes because your focus was just elsewhere. How has that played out, or how has that affected the other two?
Well, early on, fitness was priority. Church was on the back burner. God was just a scripture in my bio. So it's more about posting the scripture every day. That was it. Rarely used to go to church, things like that. And then it shifted to even me working every day, working Sundays, taking clients on Sundays, taking late night clients. I in the gym, closing the gym, taking clients because I chasing this money. But it evolved now to I know that family is important. I have to put the family first. And the family is my first ministry before I even go there and try to help other people. I got to deal with my own surrounding first. So realizing the value of that and starting to pour more in that direction. And so now for me is, I know I go to bed at a certain time. People know, don't ask me to go out. I don't go nowhere. So I home, and I know my wife knows I am home at a certain time, and that's our time. Whether we talk, whether we watch a movie, whether we read, whatever, that's our time. And she knows that even though on Saturdays I may come home, I may just lay in bed. I don't want to do nothing, but she know I home. My kids know I home. So putting in that time like that, and it's shifted now where God, I try my best to put him first. Even like at my gym, I don't need to play gospel music now. Like I shifted. Like I totally changed because like now for me, that's important. And I don't have to go there and I don't have to chase clients because he provides. I've never not been in the place of lack. So I know that if I center him and my heart's desires and I walking in the purpose and plan that he has for my life, he can continue to provide. Because then the people who relying on me, and I always tell people in churches, I say, but you all church people, the people who go to my church, they come work over me as well. So I say, God, no, I got to make sure you're all straight. So by association, he can make sure I straight.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
that's just all it is.
And how would you encourage men to take care of their bodies and then to be able to balance the three? Like, what I'm sure, like, you know, your male client. I want to talk about men in particular, right? I'm sure you have female clients as well. But your male clients, how do you encourage them not only to stay physically healthy, but to balance like their faith, their family, and their fitness?
Well, once you come into contact with me, I ain't gonna push God down your throat, but in some way, shape, or form, I can slide that into the conversation. Sure. So even my male clients who interact with me, like I had a client tell me the other day, like he started going to church after he started coming back working out with me because he hearing the music, we having the conversations, we having the discussions like what we having now, where we could sit and we could talk about family, like more of the older gentlemen who come with families and who have kids and things like that. So we have areas where we could relate. And I always tell them health as well, because either you can spend the money today to invest in your health, or you can spend the money later to the doctor for the hypertension, the diabetes, and things like that. And tell them like, but like even the married men or the single men, like, but find a way, and it's your best, put God first. And 9 out of 10 times people is listen. 9 out of 10 times some people don't listen, but for me that's just what it is.
And what kind of legacy would you like to leave? How do you define legacy, and then what's the legacy that you feel like you want to leave behind?
I just had a conversation with someone and I told them that when people see me, I don't want them to see Ryan, the personal trainer. I want them to see Ryan, the man of God. So I want to be remembered, or I want to be, for my time here on this earth, as what it is that I could accomplish to promote the kingdom. So it's more about less of me and like more of him right now, where my kids could be proud to say that my daddy was a man of God. He didn't compromise. He didn't waver. He may have not been perfect, but at the end of the day, he still was pursuing and chasing after God. Even setting a standard for a way for men to, like, not to be ashamed. Love your wife. Be proud of your wife, but don't be one way on social media and then be the next way in private.
Sure.
So to find and to see the value in the things that we have and to realize that the grass ain't green on the next side. Like, enjoy that 80.
Yeah.
Enjoy and love your 80, because the 20 don't make no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. For your fitness business, the name is Ryan Payne Fitness. Obviously, Ryan Payne is your name. But is there anything else behind it? Because obviously a play on pain. But does that filter into like the name of your fitness company?
I remember when I was trying to find a name for social media, who it was. Someone just say, but Ryan Payne Fitness, just use your name. Like, that's who you are. Like, use Ryan Payne. So just attach your name to your brand and then run with it. And then I say, God have a funny sense of humor. Like, it's no pain, no gain. People is run with that. And people always be like, oh, your real last name is Payne. Things like that. So it just tie in, but it wasn't no real agenda behind it. It just was something that you slap on and then boom, that's it.
Okay, all right. I was just curious if Payne had a play in it. So in a lot of your short video posts, you always end with chasing greatness. What is the greatness that you're chasing? What does that look like?
For me, that's like being the best version of myself. Being 1% better than I was yesterday. Chasing greatness. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, so not to compromise, not to settle. Because even like where I'm at now, like 10 years ago, I never felt that I'd be on a billboard. I'd never be on a podcast doing things like this, speaking to people about health and fitness. So it's realizing that all of us have something great inside of us, and that once we tap in, we could achieve it. And once we, like you say, once we put him first, he can line up, and he can make it come to fruition.
Yeah. Cool, man. So, 2 more questions. I ask everyone this who come to the pod. It's a recurring question. Been getting a variety of answers. Just curious what your answer would be. And the question is, how do you define success?
How do I define success? Success for me is right back to what I said with chasing greatness, being better than I was yesterday. My success isn't defined by someone else's goals, but it's more about the goals that I've set for myself. It's success for me is fulfilling the purpose and the plan of what it is that God has for my life, and aligning myself with His will that He has for my life. So, setting small goals, taking it one day at a time, even if it's taking it one moment at a time, one breath at a time, just getting through it and knowing that tomorrow is a new fresh day, and I have the chance to do it all over again.
When you achieve your goals, fitness goals in particular, what do you do? So like, you ran through this this phase where I think you did a half marathon or a full marathon, half marathon. So accomplishing, I assume like that was that a lot for you? I mean, I assume.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, even like going into prep training for that. Early mornings. Tired legs, things like that. It was a lot, but it's always on to the next thing. It's always like it ain't never enough. It's like almost like a drug.
So once you set a goal, achieve it, it's like, okay, what next? What next?
Yeah, what next? Okay,
and then physically, we all go through these phases where, okay, I want to be big and bulky. Okay, I want to cut up and I want to get slimmer. How does that work for you? Is it? Let me speak for me. So like when I was younger, I wanted to be like huge. Right. I lifting everything in the gym, throwing up 315 with ease. Now I don't even look at 315. I don't want to look like a fridge no more. I guess I want to be a normal looking human, right? How does that, like the physique or your physique goals, how have they evolved over the years?
I know you don't even remember this. You used to play flag football, and I come out there one time. I wasn't in shape, and I see you and I say, "Boy, dog in shape, eh?" Like that was inspiration for me.
Sure.
And even like now where I'm at, I strive to be more functionally fit.
Yeah.
I won't be able to, if I have to go run, I could go for a run. If I won't be able to lift something heavy, I can lift something heavy.
Sure.
But I ain't trying to set no like 315 for what people.
That's what I tell my boy. I guess I won't be functionally fit.
Yeah.
If I want to run, if I want to run a 5K, I could run a 5K and not hurt myself. If I need to sprint 100 yards, I can sprint 100 yards and not pull a muscle or something. Yeah. I know about a half marathon yet. I
just want to look good. I want to look good in my clothes, but that's it. Big bulkiness don't look good in clothes.
Yeah.
So for me, I want to be mobile. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and stand up and nothing hurt. Sure. I want to have no reoccurring injuries, things like that. That's all it is.
I feel that. So, and I guess that's the not long-term, but long-lasting goal for you, just to be functionally fit.
To be functionally fit, to be the granddaddy. Like, boy, your granddaddy in shape.
I with you.
That's what it is.
I with you, but well, man, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining the pod, man. I really appreciate you sharing a little bit about your story and your journey along this path of faith, fitness, and fatherhood. But I want you to share with folks who may want to get in touch with you, or maybe get some consultancy on some fitness, may want to even engage you with being their trainer. How can they get in touch?
Well, I'm on all social media, Ryan Payne Fitness, Payne, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My contact information is right there. Just reach out to me, and consultations are free, so it don't cost you nothing to ask some information. So hit me up and I can help you get the goals that you need to get. We can work together.
You have a gym. Where's your gym located?
You know what BTVI is?
Yep.
Opposite BTVI is the Government Industrial Park, BAIC. So we have a warehouse inside there. I use a section of the warehouse right there.
Okay, all right. And you work out over there consistently?
Yeah, I actually have classes Monday to Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
Morning and afternoon classes as well.
What time?
5 in the morning till 9, and then I start again in the afternoon 3 until 6. And I normally go to my house clients in between, or I go to my house clients in the evening.
How long are your classes?
1 hour.
Each? So 2-hour classes in the evenings? 3 to 6?
3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6.
Okay, so
and in the mornings,
1
8,
hour
9,
classes.
8, no, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 in the morning.
4, okay. And your classes are group classes?
Yes, I do like more small group classes.
Okay.
So imagine not CrossFit, but not bodybuilding. So like a mixture of the two.
Okay.
So I promote more like a full body type training.
Gotcha.
Where, because the average person works out 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't make sense to give someone like a leg day, back day, chest day.
Yep.
When I could give you a full body day on the 3 days that you
days.
come, and we could maximize what it is we do for those 3 days.
Makes sense. And you set a diet routine for your clients as well?
I give you I start you off with a basic meal plan, and then we tailor it as we move forward. Because the average person, you come and I say, okay, no salt, no sugar, no this. The average person can't do that. So I just set a small standard, get you used to portioning your food, and then we go from there.
How was just these questions? Just thinking about your clients and what questions people may have. So someone that, let's say, generally speaking, someone that engages with you to be a client of yours, they come in, they follow, the first set of routines and regimen that you set. How consistent have your clients been sticking to, the schedule that you set for them?
I have some people who have been very, very consistent. I have people who've lost 100 plus pounds.
Wow.
Now, some of them must go back.
Okay.
Some of them must go back. But I have people who've been consistent. I have moms. Like some of my best clients is the mummies with 2 and 3 children who get the body looking like they ain't have no children. So it varies. Some people that come in, I have people who've been with me for years. I've also had people who may come in for a while and then they go and they come back. Okay. So it sort of really depends on the person, but I more promote, like I say, I try to create a lifestyle change. And my end goal is not to have you with me forever. Okay. I want you to be comfortable, to be able to go in the gym and know what you're doing.
Sure.
And you could say, so like my online clients, I just send them a workout and they could follow the workout along and we check in. So that gives them the leisure to go when they need to go, rather than being committed to coming to me like that.
All right, cool. And where do you see Ryan Payne Fitness 10 years from now?
10 years from now? I saw a video yesterday. It's a gym in Dubai named Oxygen Gym. It's a big gym, big gym. 10 years from now, I want to have a space where trainers could train, where people could use the space, where it's not, where it ain't the Republic of Ryan Payne, where you can't, no one else could be there, where you could come in and you could work, and you could make your money, but then still have a safe space for people to come and they don't know what to do, and they could have someone assist them. A space for, even where we could have some Bible study where men could come in and we could sit and we could have some Bible study. Like a safe space for men to be able to open up and share and be safe. But still create a family atmosphere nonetheless.
Well, I wish you all the best, man. Thank you. Like I said, I've been following your journey and it's motivational, it's inspiring. I've been an avid gymmer since I was a teenager. Something that I have always been or tried to be consistent with. Haven't always been as consistent as I wanted to be, just because life happens, and whether it's travel or family and everything. But I always get back to it, back on track at some point, and just continually being motivated by yourself and like my other trainer friends and just other fitness enthusiasts. Just keep doing what y'all doing, man. Like you may not consider yourself an influencer, but you're influencing a lot. And I think with your faith, adding that, I think it affects a little more than just what you would post with fitness. So just encouraging you to keep that up, man. You're doing a good job.
All right.
So appreciate you joining, man. Thanks again for joining the pod. Want to leave with you this milestone. The milestone is really simple. Ryan said it earlier, but you can't be purpose-filled if your body isn't physically fit, right? And I think for us, it's a lifestyle. And I think if you want to live truly in your purpose, you want to be able to wake up every day to serve that purpose. And that comes with stewarding your body, stewarding your mind, stewarding your spirit, man, as well. All of those 3 aspects of our lives are entirely important. So I just want to continue to encourage each of us to put that as priority in our lives so that we can continue to be purposeful on this earth. All right. So with that brings us to the end of the pod. As always, the vision and goal of this podcast is to entertain, educate, and elevate you miles high above your fears, your doubts, and any limitations that you may think exist. Always knowing that those limitations only exist in your mind. All right, until next time, you guys stay blessed.